Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 699 of our trek, and it is time for our Mindshift Monday series. Wisdom Trek's primary focus is to assist you in creating your living legacy. Creating a living legacy can only be accomplished by gaining wisdom in many areas of life. You can only gain wisdom by changing what you allow to go into your mind, which is a result of changing the way you think. In other words, to create a living legacy, you must choose to be in continual mode of mind shift. It is so easy to get stuck in a mindset that your current circumstances cannot be changed. This is just not true, but you must understand this fundamental principle. In order to change your life, you must change how you think and what you think about. Our Mindshift Monday podcast and journal will provide you with practical ways to make your mind shift to a rich and satisfying life. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. Every decision, large and small, that you make on a daily basis impacts your life and the lives of those that you impact. You are 100% responsible for the decisions that you make. This is why it is so important to guard what we allow to go into our minds, because it will affect our decision-making ability. All of us will make decisions which, after the fact, appear to be poor decisions. You must make the best decision possible based on the information that you have at that point in time. As you learn to make better decisions by continually making a mind shift based on the previous outcomes, your decision-making ability will become wiser and the results will turn out better in the long run. This is why we must be in a state of continual mind shift, because your decisions determine your destiny. Let me relay a story from the Old Testament about decisions that impacted an entire generation of Israelites. The importance of making proper decisions in life is illustrated by the children of Israel right when they were to enter the promised land that God had promised that He would give to them. At a crucial time when they were to enter the land of Canaan at Kadesh, they came to a point that they had to make a crucial decision, and then they began to doubt. The consequences were severe. Moses sent 12 spies to find out what they were up against and asked them to bring back a report. And this is found in the book of Numbers, chapter 13, verses 25 through 33. After exploring the land for 40 days, the men returned to Moses, Aaron, and the whole community of Israel at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran. They reported to the whole community what they had seen and showed them the fruit that they had taken from the land. This was their report to Moses. "We entered the land that you sent us to explore, and it is indeed a bountiful country, a land flowing with milk and honey. And here is the kind of fruit it produces. But the people living there are powerful, and their towns are large and fortified. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. The Amalekites live in the Negev, and the Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country. The Canaanites live along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea and along the Jordan Valley." But Caleb tried to quiet the people as they stood before Moses. "Let's go at once and take the land," he said. "We can certainly conquer it." But the other men who had explored the land with him disagreed. "We can't go up against them. They are stronger than we are." So they spread this bad report about the land among the Israelites. "The land that we traveled through and explored will devour anyone who goes to live there. All the people we saw there were huge. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. Next to them, we felt like grasshoppers, and that is what they thought too." The Israelites needed a drastic mind shift, and because they did not have one, the following factors influenced the nation of Israel into making a very unwise and wrong decision. The first factor is their perceived circumstances caused the Israelites to make an unwise decision. Walled cities and giants gave God's people a grasshopper complex. They felt small, insignificant, powerless, and frustrated. Why? They had an incorrect mindset. They looked at God in light of their circumstances instead of their possibilities. They were more influenced by the size of men than the size of God. The Jordan River wasn't the great barrier that kept them out of the promised land. The hindrance that shattered them were beyond the Jordan. They made the drastic mistake of trying to handle tomorrow's problems with today's strength. It was not today's difficulties that influenced their wrong decision, but the anticipation of tomorrow's problems that brought them to their defeat. How true this is of our lives also. How many times has an unwise decision been the result of bringing tomorrow's perceived problems into today and making giants out of them? You cannot win tomorrow's battles with today's strength. The second factor was the negative influence of 10 spies impacted an entire generation. 10 men kept thousands of people from finding God's perfect will for them. 10 men were more of an obstacle than the nations that they were to conquer. In these situations, the enemies were not the Hittites, Amalekites, or the Jebusites, but the unbelieving spies who spread a bad report. None of the previous miracles that the nation of Israel had experienced up to this point seemed to matter now. Just 10 men of influence, and they used their influence to sway the minds of thousands. It does not take a great multitude to change the mindset of a nation. 10 negative men caused untold misery that lasted 40 years and killed thousands of people. The blessings of God was lost for an entire generation. And the third factor is their unwillingness to sacrifice now caused suffering for 40 years. With every great endeavor, a price must be paid. The greater the cause, the greater the cost. Men and women who accomplish much sacrifice much. It falls back to the laws of planting and harvesting, as described in Psalms chapter 126, verses 5 and 6. Those who plant in tears will harvest with shouts of joy. They weep as they go to plant their seeds, but they will sing as they return with the harvest. The price to be paid for entering the Promised Land weighed heavily on the nation of Israel. They did not realize that the harvest that they would reap for not obeying was an entire 40 years of wandering in the wilderness until an entire generation of people died. They thought that security was not having to confront the giant battles of life. The only security that we have as Christ followers is not found in avoiding battles, temptations, and problems, but being found obedient to God's word regardless of the price. The nation of Israel would have been far more secure fighting against the giants in the Promised Land than wandering in the wilderness. No new land, no milk and honey, no shouts of victory, just wandering. Every person over the age of 20 at this time, except for Joshua and Caleb, never entered the Promised Land. They all died in the wilderness. They tried to save their lives and ended up losing them. We need to be in continual mode of mind shift. Every decision that we make is a determining factor on our destiny of life and the lives of generations to come. Next week, we will continue on our trek on Mindshift Monday. On tomorrow's trek, we'll explore another wisdom quote. This 3-minute wisdom supplement will assist you in becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise each day. Thank you so much for joining me on this trek that we call life. Encourage your friends and family to join us and to come along with me tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the daily journal, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe at iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.